Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the managing director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing the notion of human rights. And I've gotten a lot of folks kind of look askance at me in the past year and a half, roughly, or at least the last 9 months, since I've been talking kind of my views on, the lack of authority that anyone has to really tell anyone else sort of what to wear, what to do, under what circumstances they can do this, that, or the other thing. Just the kind of overarching, maybe nascent totalitarianism that we're kind of seeing from time to time. I'm not saying it's pervasive, but there's just a lot of creepy intrusiveness amongst a lot of folks. And I'm not just talking about governments either. People can be very nosy where they shouldn't be. One big one is, whatever happened to the notion of medical privacy? I mean, this is a fundamental privacy aspect of our privacy just as people, and it's just sort of been thrown by the wayside by a certain group of people primarily. And I shouldn't say a certain group, but just some folks out there just seem to not think that this is an issue. Well, I think it's an issue. It's none of anybody's business, the medical information, about anybody else that pertains to that person. But leaving that aside, we're kind of talking about that, and I brought up, look, there are human rights issues at play here. And people kind of look askance at me, and I get it. So I went ahead and, I went to UN.org, and it's actually UN.org/EN/About Us, Universal Declaration of Human Rights from the UN website. Just a couple of articles, and I just kind of picked these out while just looking at it. I wasn't even really trying to dissect this as a lawyer. I was just kind of looking at it just on the surface level, if you will, of the words. Article 3, everyone has the right to life, liberty, and security of person. For all these people out here that think that you should be stabbed in the head every time you want to walk out your front door, and there seems to be a subset of folks out there that think, well, if you want to get on a plane, we got to stab you in the head. If you want to walk through a threshold, we got to stab you in the head. Well, again, Article 3, Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Everyone has the right to life, liberty, and security of person. Getting stabbed in the head, if you don't want to be stabbed in the head, ain't exactly security of person. That's how I'd look at that. Article 9, no one shall be subjected to arbitrary arrest, detention, or exile. And I got to be honest with you, I've had issues since day one with respect to the notion that people can be detained just because, of the result of a polymer chain reaction. Now I'm not going to get into the medical side of all that, but just from a legality standpoint, that's not due process under, and I'm not pointing out any specific country here. This is just kind of an overview, my opinion, if you will, on just sort of the state of play of the world. But it's not due process under sort of any notion of due process. It's just, hey, we're going to detain you because this. Well, yeah, that's, under any normal set of circumstances, well, and let's not even call it that. Under any basic notions of due process, that's not due process. That sounds kind of arbitrary. Article 27, everyone has the right to freely participate in the cultural life of the community. Freely participate, everyone has the right freely to participate. So there's not any constriction on that. There's no condition precedent. It's just you have the right freely to participate. Quoting directly, and let me quote it all the way through. Everyone has the right freely to participate in the cultural life of the community, to enjoy the arts, and to share in scientific advancement and its benefits. Freely to participate. Again, no condition precedent. Just there it is. So for folks out there who've looked askance at me when I've said, hey, there are human rights issues at play, to me, and this is just a basic, I was just sort of skimming this when I was looking at it. This isn't even an in-depth analysis. And, I found 3 articles right there where I can pretty well point to, some of this stuff that's been occurring the last 18, 20 months in my opinion, at least would seem to contradict the spirit of these articles, if not, outright conflict with the wording itself.